Hello, hello. Hey guys, welcome. I'm so sorry that I am about 3 minutes late. Trying to get myself together. I hope you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. All right. What's up, you all? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. So if you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. I'm so sorry that I am running late. Tonight is going to be an amazing, amazing night. We're going to be talking about financial empowerment with women, with our tribe here in Unapologetically You. And I hope you are looking forward to it because I am really looking forward to the interview that I'm going to do tonight with one of my friends here in Chicago, real estate broker Wendy Lee. So I'm really excited about bringing this to you. So I'm going to tell you all a little bit about the initiative that I have going on here in the group. It's important to me. So as you all know, last year, I started Unapologetically You, which is a initiative, women's empowerment initiative, eventual organization, all of that really good stuff that that the Lord gave me. He put on my heart to be able to help provide all different types of empowerment tools, empowerment resources, encouragement, all these different things. He allowed, he kind of downloaded into me and wanted me to be able to share this with my UY tribe. And so I started this initiative. I started this focus for women. And so last year, if you go back through the group and you look at the different lives that I did last year, I was the one that was bringing you a lot of stuff. So, I was talking about different things that affect us as women, things that affect myself, Unapologetically You was basically birthed out of me and my experiences, right? The things that I've gone through in my life. And so, last year what I chose to do was I was giving you, just talking about different things, right? And so this year, I wanted to switch it up a little bit. So last year I was coming on every single Wednesday and I wanted it to be effective. And I wasn't sure if it was effective enough for everybody with me coming every week. And it started to be a little bit much for me. And so I said, okay, in the new year, what I wanted to do was get a poll to see how many people wanted to just have it twice a month or once a month. So the majority of you guys said that once a month worked well. So we decided on the third Wednesday of the month. And tonight is the third Wednesday. So another thing that I decided to do was, instead of me always being the one talking and me always, giving out information to you all, I wanted to bring in experts, right? So last month I started, with bringing experts. Last month we did something with Demita McGee, who is a Christian business coach. And so she came in, hey, Carla, Dr. Carla, thank you so much. Yeah, girl, I decided to just go back to the, what is it called? The creamy crack, child. I decided to go back. I had been natural for like 15 years and I had locks and all that. So it's just time for me to kind of go back to what I knew. So thank you so much for the compliment. So this year I decided to bring in SMEs, so subject matter experts on different things. So again, last month we had Demita McGee, who is a Christian business coach, and it went over really well. We had a lot of people who tuned into that. A lot of people went back to look at the replay. I think we had like over 500 people that went back and looked at the replay. That's amazing. That's what I want when we have these lives. So tonight I oftentimes, the month before a new month, I always try to give thought to who I'm going to bring on and who I want to have as the subject matter expert. And so I knew that I took, again, remember I told you that everything I do in this group is like an excerpt from my life. And so I wanted to bring on someone to talk about financial empowerment, because as women, we are powerful beyond measure, right? beyond measure. We are powerful. We have the ability to literally change the dynamic of everything around us. Like we can affect everything. We have the ability to affect temperature. We have the ability to affect the people, the men who are in our lives. We have the ability to affect everything, right? So how powerful can we be if we really, really, really caught a glimpse of our financial life, like making power moves and doing so many amazing things, buying up property. Like I have a goal this year of flipping my first property. I've wanted to do that for years and years and years. And when I was married before, my ex-husband never wanted to do it. And so I said, this year, I'm going to purchase my first property and I'm going to flip it. And I want to do it by the end of the year. And so that's my next goal. I just purchased a home. That was a goal for me. And my next goal in terms of real estate is I want to create a real estate company and I want to purchase my first flip property. So I said, my tribe, the one that God blessed me with, the one that God entrusted me with in Unapologetically You, this is my tribe. So the one that God blessed me with, I want to give you all information that's going to allow you all to be financially empowered. Like, I'm a woman and I'm all about empowering other women. I don't have time for the drama. I don't have time for the keeping another woman down. And I'm not all about that. I'm about making sure that we are all in position to get every single thing that God has for us. Okay. And I don't think that God sits up in heaven, the Spirit of God, it surrounds us and says, I don't want my daughter to have it all. I don't believe that. I believe that the Lord wants us to have everything as long as we have the correct focus, right? So what I wanted to do this month for this month's live is I wanted to bring you financial empowerment. And so I have my girl, Wendy Lee. She is here in Chicago with me. And I was introduced to Wendy Lee by a mutual friend of ours. When I first moved to Chicago, I was introduced to her. And Wendy and I became distant friends. So we don't see each other every day. We don't see each other on a regular basis, but we are friends. And I have a lot of respect for Wendy. I purchased my home here in Chicago and I had like this loyalty like to my parents here in Chicago. But Wendy knows if it wasn't for them, I would have gone with her to purchase my home because I believe in what she does. So with that said, I said, okay, I'm going to reach out to Wendy and see if she wants to come on with me. And she said yes. So what I'm going to do is I saw her when she came in. So I'm going to go back down and I am going to, bring her in. Bring Wendy on the camera. Wendy, I just sent you a request to come on in. So while we're waiting on Wendy to come in, I'm just going to go ahead and let you know. Tonight is all about financial empowerment. Tonight, if you see boxes behind me, y'all, I don't know what y'all can see on y'all's end, but if you can see boxes, I'm sorry, I'm moving this weekend. And so my studio apartment is hot in here because it's hot outside. Chicago is bringing it with the 70-degree weather. I'm loving it. My apartment is filled with boxes and everything. There's Wendy. Hey, Wendy.
Hi, Makeba. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much. Winning Wednesday to everybody.
Yes. Winning Wednesday. So what I'm going to do now, you all, is I'm not going to see your comments because comments are distracting. I want to make sure that I am able to focus on Wendy and we can have this conversation. So I'm going to slide the comments out of the way, but I'll bring the comments back towards the end to see if there's any questions. Wendy, you might be able to see the comments on your end.
Okay.
But I slid them out the way because sometimes the comments be coming in so quick I get distracted. So yes. So Wendy, welcome to our Wednesday Night Live. We do this every third Wednesday of the month. And this year I've decided to bring in SMEs on different topics to give my Unapologetically You tribe some knowledge that can get them empowered and help them to live their best life and do everything they want to do. And so this month I said I wanted to focus on financial empowerment. And I knew that Wendy was the go-to person to do that because I follow Wendy on social media and Wendy's always telling us what to do with our money. And it ain't like going spending it at stores. Wendy is telling us like, you should have such and such and such because and I'm like, she's stepping all on my toes. I need to get myself together. So um so Wendy, thank you for agreeing. I know you had a birthday dinner tonight, and I appreciate you pulling yourself away so that you can join us tonight. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
It was
you.
an honor to be asked to be a part of your group and speak about financial empowerment, which I am so passionate about. So I'm honored and blessed to be able to share this information with your group as well.
Yes, thank you. So, Wendy, we're going to jump right into it. I have some questions that I'm going to ask you, but we're also just going to have dialogue. So, I'll jump in with stuff that you say, but really, this is about you and what you can share with the group. Just about your journey, about what you do, about your business, about everything that you do in terms of financial empowerment and helping women to get where they need to be. So we're going to talk about that. So the first thing I want to start off with is telling everybody who Wendy Lee is. So this is Wendy Lee. I told you guys before, this is my Chicago friend here. I want her to let you know who she is. So Wendy, tell everybody who you are.
Well, I'm a native of Chicago and I love and born and raised in Chicago and I love Chicago. Have actually visited and traveled a lot of different cities as far as traveling for my business, but I definitely love Chicago. We may not necessarily have the most opportune weather, but I do love Chicago because the landscaping is phenomenal. The streetscape is phenomenal. Being able to drive literally along the Lakeshore Drive and be able to just see water on one side and city and land on the other is just an impeccable opportunity, a feeling to have, especially if you're coming around either northbound or southbound to be able to look at Lakeshore Drive and see the building, the streetscape. The skyline, that's what I'm looking for, is an
Mm-hmm.
amazing thing. And also being able to appreciate the architecture has been a great opportunity. That's what got me into real estate ultimately. I actually was in corporate America for, oh, goodness gracious, about 15 years, I think I was in corporate America from high school onward and worked many jobs, primarily in the sales capacity. And unfortunately, got laid off 3 times in 5 years. And as a workforce, I decided, you know what, this is not going to work anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
when I am working for somebody, you're creating somebody else's legacy and creating somebody else's future and legacy and fortune. So I said, you know what can I do that will allow me to do my own business and be able to build my own legacy. So I got into real estate. So 17 years ago, I got into real estate and I've never looked back. We've seen the highs and the lows. And Wendy Lee is all about being passionate about being able to help people be able to be empowered, enriched their mind, and provide education that allows anybody and anyone who is interested in becoming real estate homeowners or investors, meaning you can buy, sell, and flip, you can buy and hold, or you can even hold investment property, multi-unit buildings. And that's really where the what should I say, the opportunity really comes into to be able to create true wealth is to be able to create an opportunity to buy investment property, which you mentioned that was one of your second goal for the year to be as it relates to real estate because congratulations, you just bought your first your new home,
Thank
not your
you.
first. You had other opportunities already, but now you've planted some roots in Chicago. So I'm
Yeah.
glad to see that you're here. I was wondering because you're like, oh my God, that last winter we had.
This last winter was crazy. Oh my God. And it snowed just as soon like as this past Sunday. Like it snowed for
Yeah.
real. And I was like, okay, Chicago, don't start tripping. Shoot. Yeah, this last winter
Like,
was
you
kind of
closed up my
crazy.
house, right?
Yeah. This last winter was crazy. And then today it was like almost 70. I don't
Yes.
understand.
And especially
Wow.
coming from it was 40 degrees into 70, it was a hard change to embrace. So it felt like when we were wearing winter coats and then now we're wearing
Right.
summer and it was kind of hot. I wasn't prepared for that yesterday
Right.
even.
Right.
So, but any event, loving Chicago, loving real estate, loving being able to help people to really become property owners, real estate moguls, and creating legacies for your family. In fact, just talking to a gentleman today about the cost of college education. And it was $52,000 a year to attend the school of choice for his daughter. So that's
Wow.
almost what, between that and the cost of maybe room and board or just other incidentals is $250,000 after 4 years. So the question is,
Wow.
okay, wow, what do I do?
Yeah.
And the strategy is to purchase a building. And that building, after the 4 years of being able to go through their college education, there is an opportunity for a nice return, pay for the college education, because the goal is to buy property, buy low and sell high, guys. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
theory, not even a theory, the rule of real estate, to create some serious wealth. And there's lots of opportunities. And I can talk about it for hours, real estate, and it's just about catering to your specific needs and how we can help you be able to do that. I mean, I had a young lady who is on her third property right now, and she bought her first one from her landlord. And
Mm-hmm.
she took the first one, bought from the landlord, achieved about a nice six-figure amount of equity, and took that equity to buy another building and then working on another building. So this is the way to build some serious growth and
Mm-hmm.
income, because buying a house is great to be able to bring some residual income, but true
Right.
wealth comes from the building, or unless you're going to do the house as an Airbnb, and that's another strategy that we can definitely talk about. There's many different subtopics within real estate
Mm-hmm.
we can definitely talk about and be able to create wealth. It's just based off of what your financial situation is all about.
Right. And you know what? I will say that until I came to Chicago, I had never heard of buying buildings, because in Florida, we don't have like 2 flats and 3 flats and 4 flats. We don't have those. So coming to Chicago, when I first moved here, I lived in a 2 flat, and I was like, what is a 2 flat? And so
Mhm.
once I lived in, when I was like, oh, okay, this is, I get this. And then I gradually, after, talking to you and having conversations with other people, learned about the ability to be able to buy buildings and be a landlord. And I was like, oh my God, like this is something that I was learning new coming into Chicago, and then start, after following you and continually looking at your posts and learning different things from a distance. Um, it has me now thinking like, oh, maybe one day I will, look into buying a building, and maybe, I mean, being a landlord and buying a building and doing these other things. But like you said, it is, uh-oh, sorry y'all, but like you said, it is like one of the best ways to build wealth. And
Yeah.
so that's one of my other questions. We'll talk a little bit more about that, and you can bring some of the other suggestions in when you talk about building wealth. But my second question is this, Wendy. So women's empowerment is my mission. I didn't know that it was going to be my mission until the Lord talked to me last year and was like, girl, this is what I have for you to do in your spare time. And so in your spare time, I was like,
You
really,
empower
God?
women in your full-time opportunity too. It's
That right.
all
Look,
around.
that was like that was kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but in my full time is literally
Mhm.
what he meant to do. And I'm still trying to wrap myself around it. But I'm learning that as a woman, who better to empower women than another woman?
You
Um,
got it.
so women's empowerment is definitely my mission. And then an extension of that is financial empowerment, particularly because of what I've been able to do. So I haven't always had good credit. I've made my mistakes just like everybody else has made credit mistakes. Everybody else has gone through some difficult financial situations. Credit issues come as a result, indirectly or directly, of the decisions that we made or the situations that we've been involved in. So I've had to rebuild myself on more than one occasion. Most recently, I went through a rebuild, because when I first got to Chicago, I was doing good when I got here, and then I was in a
Mhm. Mhm.
situation helping somebody out, and immediately, like literally within 3 months, my credit score dropped 100 points. And I was like, OMG. Like, OMG was one of the nice things that I said. Like, I really wanted to cuss. And I cried for days, because I was like, oh my God, Lord, this is not like I had done so much to build myself up from my divorce. And now here I am, literally feeling like I'm going through this cyclic motion again. And my credit score dropped over 100 points to a 588. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to get out of this. And my best friend was like, God can do anything. Don't worry about it. And I was like, but my credit to me means everything. So I, decided I was going to pay credit card debt off, and I was able to do that through some opportunities that I was afforded and different things like that. But I wanted to give women financial empowerment because I know the benefit of being able to put yourself in a good position financially. I'm not there yet 100%, but that's a goal that I have. So I think it's important for women to have goals to get there financially. Of course, we have married women, and the biggest mistake I think that a married woman can do is completely put her entire existence into her spouse and think that, you know, that's how I'm going to be taken care of. And I know that when you're married, you become one, but it's also important for women to have identity, like a financial identity of their own. So they'll actually be able to bring something to the table of their relationship or their marriage. And God forbid anything happen as a result of that relationship and you walk away and you're not having to completely rebuild over again. So my
Absolutely.
question to you is, what is one area, and you did hit on this a little bit with the real estate investing, but what is one area that women could be better prepared financially, just based on your experiences or based on, the people that you've worked with or what you've even studied over the last 17 or 18 years? What would you say would be one good way that women or a good area that women could be better prepared financially?
Well, I think that a start, not a think, I know a start is really to understand and have control over your money. Stop letting money control you. And that's part of the challenge that, of course, unfortunately, we are overcome and overwhelmed with all kinds of advertisements of brand name this and brand name that. However, I've seen too many people, and in the people that I've worked with over the last decade and a half of helping to buy real estate, the challenges that they have seen themselves is being um, what's the word I'm looking for? Convinced and lured to purchase things that really they don't need. It's
Mm-hmm.
nice to have, but let's work on the opportunity to, if you really want to create some money and wealth in your pocket, then you've got to be able to learn to save first and then spend.
Mm-hmm.
But so many people, we tend to save and then spend. And unfortunately, a lot of us may not be able to even save after at the end of the day while spending. So
Mm-hmm.
then how am I able to get ahead of this rat race, if you will? So you have to be able to learn to budget and control the money so that you can save and put some money off to the side. I see a lot of people have caught up with when their children are going to school and there's no money to give them the things that they need to provide in order to get a good education that may be more than what the local system can provide.
Mm-hmm.
Not that local systems can provide a lot, but then what other things are you able to provide? And I have a client, and she literally realized that, oh my God, why is it that I make good money and I have a spouse that makes great money, and yet we are living check to check? And we're talking
Mm-hmm.
a family household that brings in almost $200,000 a year, and yet there's
Mm-hmm.
no money in the bank
Mm-hmm.
account. So
Mm-hmm.
why is that? Because you're allowing the money to control you. And so if you allow the money to control you, then you're going to buy all these pretty things and not realizing at the end of the day, oh my God, I have no money left. When you
Mm-hmm.
have, and I mean, I've had clients, I use one example a lot. I have a client who works at a well-known company at Google and makes about $27,000 a month every month, but yet can't keep money in the bank account. While I have a woman who is a single mother of, I think, three children and makes almost $30,000 a year and can't keep money in the pocket. So it's not about how much money you make ultimately, it's about
Yeah.
how much
How
money you
you
can save
spend? Yeah, you spend it
and
save.
spend
Yep.
with it. So they're
Mm-hmm.
all correlating, go hand in hand. So it's understanding the foundation, and I have a book that I collaborated with a bunch of people in this space, and literally from the results of being able to simplify the process of purchasing real estate, but
Mm-hmm.
understanding that you have a financial foundation that you have to uphold
Mm-hmm.
before you can even look at purchasing a home, and then inspecting the home, its literal foundation, and then
Mm-hmm.
staying in control of your money, because now buying a home and having your own home is naturally you got to take care and maintain the property. And
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing. A lot of people buy homes and don't know that they have to, nor do they realize it costs money to maintain a home. I'm not saying
Mhm.
to by any means not buy a home,
Mhm.
because the reality is this: you as a renter are going to be paying X amount of dollars, $1,200, even $900 a month, 1,200, 15, $2,000 a month, whatever you're paying monthly in rent. Trust and believe you are paying your landlord to pay for that part of his or her mortgage, because they're not going to pay you to live in their property. That's the
Mhm.
bottom line. Okay.
Right.
So if your mortgage is 900, I mean, if your rent is 900, then we need to figure out how we can make it so that your mortgage is 900 as well. Now, how is that going to be done? That's going to be done by being able to acquire a 2-unit building. That's the most opportune and most logical thing to do. You're living in an apartment, so why not then buy a 2-unit apartment building? It could be a $200,000 property. You're paying about $1,500 mortgage, depending on location and taxes. But if you're paying a $1,500 mortgage and the rent for a 2-bedroom unit is 900, then you are now paying less than $900 a month. And I'm allowing you to then hopefully save $300 a month, and hopefully leveraging and banking that 300
Right.
so that you can buy another. And that's the only way you can truly make some sincere wealth. Now, of course, there's other ways: cryptocurrency, there's financial products, there's insurance policies, being able to leverage. I got into insurance policy to do, I started late in my 30s to invest into my financial future, because I didn't, you know, the market going up and down. So you had to use some of that. So now I've leveraged businesses as well as financial products, as well as insurance products outside of real estate to build equity and build wealth. And that's another advice, don't ever put it all in one basket, because
Right.
if it
Oh,
all goes
yes.
down, real estate, when it all goes
Yes.
down, it all goes down. It was,
Yes.
stock market, if it all goes down, it's all going to go down. So diversify is another
Yes.
piece of advice I would provide.
Yes, diversification is very, very important. Great advice. I saw something the other day. It really caught my eye, and it said, and I'm not a big fan of using the term broke, because I believe that what we speak, we bring. So I don't like using the word broke in terms of not having money, but in respect to the essence of what this statement was, it made a lot of sense. It says discipline is having money in your savings account, but still saying that I'm broke, right? You don't have any money. You have money in your savings account, but you're smart enough and disciplined enough to not go into that savings account to take money out just to spend on frivolous stuff. Even though you don't
Right.
have like money in your checking account or discretionary funding to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do, you're sitting on a $10,000 savings account. Discipline, true discipline, is not going into that savings account and pulling it out because you see a pair of shoes or whatever that you want to get from the store, or you see a $300 TV that you want to get from the store. And in all honesty, talking about finances, girl, let me tell you, people, and I was one of them, people shy away from talking about finances because you know what? It makes it makes people look at themselves in the mirror. So like looking at your finances makes you come to terms with things that you know you might not be doing, right? And so a lot of times people don't want to talk about finances because they're not ready to come to grips with the truth. And so I know for financial planners, for yourself, and talking about finances with people, it could be a conversation that gets real, real quiet, real quick, because nobody's trying to find out what you want to talk about, what we want to talk about with this. What are we talking about? So I thank you for that tip. I think that I just wanted just to go back with what she said. I asked her what was one area that women could be better prepared financially, and she said to not let your money rule you, to not, to get in control of the money that you make. An example she used, you can be a person, and a lot of times people think, well, man, if I can just make $100,000 a year, if I can just make $80,000 a year, I'm going to be better. My situation is going to be better. It's not the amount of money that you make. It's what are you doing with the money that you make? So a person that's making $50,000 versus a person that's making $100,000 a year, the person making 50,000 could possibly have more money at the end of the month because they're disciplined to not
Mm-hmm.
spend everything. Whereas the person who has $100,000 coming in every year, more money, more problems if you're not disciplined, right? So I like that. I like that. And everything that you're saying, I'm applying to myself because you know what? I'll be honest. I was paying one amount in my rent. So what I was paying in my rent here was what I was paying for my 3 bedroom, brand new built home in Tallahassee, Florida. The same rent with the exception of maybe $30 difference. I'm paying for my rent in my studio. Here, I just bought a house. My mortgage increased a little bit. A little bit. My mortgage increased. So I'm listening to what you say because I know that going into a situation, I'm going to have to discipline my mind to think differently about how my money is now. And so this is one of the things that I wanted to get across to the women in the group is, the answer is not making more money. Making more money is great and everybody wants to make more money. But what good is making more money if you haven't learned to discipline with what you have? And God, that's what the Bible speaks about. Like God says, if I can trust you with a little bit, then I'll be able to trust you with more. But if I can't trust you with a little bit, why am I going to give you more? Because all you're going to do is mess up the more that you get. Right. So we have to become a little bit more disciplined in that regard. So I have 4 questions for Wendy. This is the third one. So Wendy, you're a really, and a lot of these questions we kind of already they're kind of like merging into each other. So if there's something that you've already said and you want to expound upon, that's cool. And then we're actually going to, now listen, you guys, I can't see your questions, but if you have any questions for Wendy, please make sure that you put them in the comment section, because when I come back and I pull the comments back up, we're going to look to see if there are any questions. Now is the time to ask her questions. You literally have like a one-on-one session with her for the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So ask her questions if you have them, please. So Wendy, you're a real estate broker. And I found out differently here, like in Chicago, there is no real estate agent. Everybody here in Chicago are brokers, right? Okay.
Yes, we're all brokers now, correct.
So that's the
And then the
difference.
next level of the brokers, what once used to be brokers, are now managing brokers or owner of the company.
Okay, got you.
Mm-hmm.
So real estate broker. So you're a real estate broker and you strongly push your platform of wealth building. Like ever since I've met you, you are consistent in pushing the platform of wealth building, right? And so what is wealth building to you? And we've already talked about what's the best way to do it, but I want you to hit on it again for anybody that's coming in. What is wealth building to you, and what is, in your opinion, the best way to do that?
To me, wealth building is really being able to not have to worry about and ask how much such and such thing costs when you go to the store. If I do not have to even bat an eye about how much it costs, that's when I know I've achieved a nice level of wealth and comfort level, because the reality is you have to be comfortable, because unfortunately even wealth is a relative term, because wealth could mean $50,000 to some people,
Right.
while to some 50,000 is a drop in the bucket, while it's $500,000. So it's really to know really what can I create, and know this: the opportunity is there regardless of what your income opportunity is. It's how we build a strategy to get you to there so that you can become a $500,000 wealth or $1 million, whatever the case is. Because there's a question that my boyfriend always asks: how much money is enough money?
Right.
Well, it's enough money when I can help other people. It is not just about putting money in your pocketbook. It's about being able to help others and impact and provide opportunities for others to be able to build. So, the way how my company is with Exit Realty, as a realtor, we have a business model that allows us to build teams and build people and build awareness of the company, and the company provides a residual component of residual income. So you never really have heard that, and you being in Melaleuca, you've never heard of a company, especially in real estate or even a service company, that provides the ability to do residual income. So I have a residual income account with Exit, and I take the money that I make from the income, or the residuals that I make from my agents making a transaction. So I get a percentage of their deals. And so what do I do with that money? So that's money that's, if you will, um, icing on the cake. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own income that I make. I do well. I close about anywhere from 35 to 45 deals a year. So I stay busy and I stay on the go and consistently looking to help other people purchase property and sell real estate and invest in real estate. However, I have a team and agents that I try to help grow and nurture so that they can also become very successful. But then I take that residual income and I provide and I give back to my clients. I give back to the community so that I can provide whatever else I can provide. It could be education. It could be maybe a book or whatever the case.
Mm-hmm.
And we as women, and especially in self-employed entrepreneurs, we really, really need to be more focused on reading books to
Mm-hmm.
help us, or what are those things? Audible books
Mm-hmm.
or white papers or just webinars. Listen to things that continue to empower you and make you grow and be better as an individual and be able to provide as a service provider and in the industry, you know,
Right.
being able to be a servant of God and to be able to help. And so that's why I consistently am on the platform of education. I'm always providing and doing workshops. I just did a workshop last week with a housing counselor in South Suburban Chicago in Homewood. I'm doing one next month in Malcolm X College, and that's through the West Side housing counseling system. I mean, so I'm partnering up with many of the housing organizations because the key is to really help people understand one to one or one to many, but it's about belly to belly education so that you can understand that you can make it happen, whether it's you making $30,000 a year
Mm-hmm.
or it's $100,000 a year. Just because you
Mm-hmm.
make $30,000 does not mean you can't buy real estate.
Right.
It's just you
Right.
got to start
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. You got to start small. And uh, God, why am I drawing a blank? What's his name? The guy from Microsoft, Bill Gates, started in the garage, guys.
Yeah.
And Jeff Bezos started in the garage. I mean, granted, you know, he lost a large chunk of money from his divorce, but
Jeff
he still,
Bezos, I will tell you, Jeff Bezos' story is enough to make anybody want to get their life together. I mean, when you look at how that company started from where it started and what it is now, like everybody shot. Oh my God. I'm
yes.
sorry. Go ahead.
So you got to start
It's
somewhere. So they all
amazing.
started in the garage, and so
Mm-hmm.
here it is. You know, a decade or 2 years, can't even talk. 2 decades later, they're where they're at. But that doesn't mean it can't happen for you. It
Right.
just happens to happen at a certain age. I mean, I think Vera Wang, the fashion designer, did not start her
Yeah.
business
She was
as a
in her
designer until
40s.
she was 50 or
She,
something like
yeah,
that,
late
right?
40, late
So,
40s, early 50s.
yeah.
Yep.
So it's very
Yep.
possible, guys. That's what all I can say is very possible. Don't let anybody, and especially, unfortunately, we tend to stop ourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
don't let yourself stop and get in your way. Get with somebody who can help you. I would be more than happy to get with you to
Mm-hmm.
help you, give you a path and a strategy to get you there.
There are a couple of things that I'm trying to do personally, but one tip that I want to give that I'm actually doing for myself this year is reading more. And so I'm reading a lot of different books just on different topics just to improve my literacy, literary ability and my literacy and my knowledge. But one of the things that I am challenging myself to do is to read a book on financial literacy once a month. Any book. There's tons of them out there. And so my goal is to read a book every 2 weeks. So that's 2 books a month is what my personal goal is now. But one of those books I need for them to be financial literacy only because I'm 45 years old. There are a lot of mistakes that I've personally made over the course of my life. And what I like to say, the first half of my life, I look at my life now and I say, okay, I'm living the second half of my life. And the second half cannot be a reflection of the first half, right? And so in order for it not to be a reflection of the first half, I have to do some things differently. And so like you said, everything is about education. Like we can literally change the dynamic and the trajectory of our life if we just educate ourselves on a regular basis. And sometimes that education can be self-imposed. And so there are financial literacy books out there that we need to, read and empower ourselves. So my challenge to the women who are in this group and the women who are going to look at this live later is make a pact with yourself that you're going to financially um, uh, build like a financial literacy library in your home where you read a book about financial literacy every single month. and learn.
Great suggestion. Yes.
Yes, improve your knowledge on what you can do. Like Winnie just said, like we think that we are hindered by the amount of money we make. And I am learning that it is not about the amount of money that I make. It is about the amount of money that I spend. And if I'm not, I mean, I used to laugh at my aunts because my aunt is a huge coupon, like she is a coupon person and she would like coupon all the time. And I look at these people who coupon, man, now that I'm in my 40s, I'm like, coupons anyone? Because I'm like, it's really about trying to, I don't have any kids. So in terms of legacy like that, it's not there, but I do have the ability to leave a legacy in other things that I do. And I am not like, I refuse to leave this earth and have like this poverty mentality. Even though I'm not living in poverty, it's still a mentality. Like you feel like you can't do anything because you don't make enough money. And like your boyfriend asked, like, and this is a great question to ask, like, because people are never content with what they make. So the question is, well, what is enough money? Are you ever going to have enough money? Because it's like you get to 75,000, I don't have enough money. I can't wait till I get a raise. I need 85,000. Okay, well, you get 85,000. Dang, I still can't make ends meet. Boo, it's
Because
not the
you found
money.
something else to spend it on.
Right. It's not money. It's that we have all this money now. And we think, oh, now I have money. I can go buy this new car. Like, no, you could go buy this new car, but is that smart to do? Right? Because the moment you drive that car off the lot, it ain't even worth what you just purchased it for anyway. So that's my tip, is to resolve yourself to reading a financial type book every month. And my last question
Great
for you,
idea. Great
Wendy,
suggestion. Yes.
is what are 3 financial tips that you can leave with us today?
Well, I kind of touched upon that again, not letting you let money control you. That is very key. Stop letting money control
If
you.
somebody can put these tips in the comments, please. If somebody can, as she gives off the tips, please put them in the comments. So the first one is do not let money run you.
Not let money run you. Learn how to leverage your money. There are multiple ways to, if you like they say, that same adage, there's how many ways, many ways to skin a cat. Well, there are many ways to leverage and make money. And know that it's not only in real estate, there are many other resources and opportunities. It's just finding one that fits your comfort level of investing, because some people, their strategy, they're willing to be aggressive. Some are, oh my God, they'll be nervous. If you get invested in stock, you're going to get online every day and look at how much that stock costs. You can't do that. You have to be able to let your money work for you. And the key is about being able to create passive income. That's the key,
Mm-hmm.
guys.
Mm-hmm.
We can make, and that's the way to build some true work money. It's not your income that you make from working a job, but being able to make money passively. And how can you make money passively? Through these different vehicles we talked about,
Yep.
which is real estate. When you're sleeping, you're making money. That's passive income, guys. That's
Yep.
number one rule. If you could figure out a way to make passive income, and passive income can come in the form of what um, what you're doing, Makeba, with Melaleuca. What
Right.
I'm doing with the residual income with real estate. I'm selling real estate. Now, if I don't go out there and sell real estate, I'm still making some form of income because there's a residual component built into my business model working as a realtor. So as
Right.
my clients, I close my deals, but as my agents or my team members or people that I recruit to bring to the company is working, I'm still making money. Okay.
Right.
Now taking that money and reinvesting it, that's the key also. How to consistently recycle your money to make more money.
Right.
That's my ultimate last suggestion to you. And I mean, oh my God, there will be more than 3, but we'll talk about that. And if there's, of course, any other questions and thoughts about how you could potentially, or you have an idea, then let's figure out how we can make it happen. Oh my goodness, if you are passionate about making things, making gadgets, or even finding gadgets. There's a friend of mine who goes to work with people who are trying to buy products from China and import it over here so that they can make a business with that product. So there's many ways you can make money. So I said there's a different ways to skin a cat. So how can we help you skin that cat that you want to make based off of, again, your comfort level, your income level, and your desire? Because the reality of this, Making money comes more when you're passionate about wanting to help people be able to help them do it better. So if you see it as a way that I'm helping people, I want to help people with Melaleuca to help them become more healthier, help them understand how to be healthier and use cleaner products versus it's just about making that money. Or the health items that people are with, isogenics or Herbalife, whatever the product that you're promoting, if you're promoting it from a within space of wanting to help people stay healthy, do whatever the case may be, then that's better than just seeing as, oh my God, I can make I can get commission from you, commission from you. If you look at it as straight as a paycheck,
Right.
it doesn't do it. You look at it as from a
Exactly.
passion, it'll help. That's
Yep.
the key, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, anybody who knows me, anyone who knows me knows that I have always been about making additional streams of income. Like Wendy said, we don't put our money in one. We diversify the ways, how we save money. We diversify the ways that we make money. We diversify, right? So I've always been an advocate for additional streams of income. Makeba is going to always have a number of different ways that she makes money simply because there's so much depth to who I am, right? There's so many things that God has allowed me to be able to do. So why am I just going to allow it to stay within the confines of one thing, right? And so to add to all of this, I'm also going to say, diversify how you make money, right? Today we're talking about real estate. We're talking about real estate investing, but figure out different ways that you can maximize yourself and learn how to make more money, create additional streams for yourself. As women, we are very powerful individuals. God has blessed us with creative abilities. Like, we are creatives. We are able to do so many different things. There's a gift that He has endowed within all of us. So figure out what it is that you do. Figure out what it is that you do well. I was able to get out of credit card debt last year. The way that I was able to do that was opportunity was literally brought to me, and I maximized on that opportunity, and I use it as an additional stream of income. It's not my main thing. I have a job that I go to. I have an educational company that I'm building, but I also have this other thing that I'm doing. So you all, don't be afraid of wanting to make different way, create different ways to make money. It's okay. But be smart about it. So don't allow the money that you make to now run you. Like, oh wow, I'm making an extra $2,500 a month, I can go do this and do that. No, be smart about it, be disciplined, and create like a new savings account or an IRA or something. Buy some property, do whatever it is that you need to do. But be smart about it. So I am going to look at these comments. I don't think we have a whole lot of questions. We have about 10 minutes left, and so I'm going to wrap it up real quick. But I do see that Mary said, I need real estate advice, want to make a move, but don't know where or how to invest 10 grand. So she has 10 grand that she can do some possible investments with, and she wants to do something in real estate. And Mary lives in Tallahassee, Florida. So the option to do the, like what we were talking about with the flats and stuff like that, I'm not sure. I know they don't have that opportunity there, but Wendy, what can you, what can you provide for her? What type of advice, or maybe you can talk to her offline. But
Yeah,
Mary's a
we can
good friend of
definitely talk
mine.
offline. We can
Okay.
definitely talk offline, but just off the top of my head, of course, not understanding the type of real estates are being offered in Tallahassee, but just to be able to potentially look into maybe stack up a little bit more, but it's a start with the 10,000 as to partner or become a silent investor with someone who is actually building something out in Tallahassee market. Now, usually in the Chicago market, people are really looking for a minimum investment of $25,000, $50,000 to be able to get a return. I mean, you're getting a return of anywhere from 6 to 8% return on your money because now you're not having to invest in real estate by having to bang nails or hammer nails into drywall or put up drywall or install a furnace. You don't have to get your hands dirty, but what you can do is invest your money into
Right.
a local builder or a local person who's flipping homes and then getting a better return because they need capital. They're
Right.
trying to raise capital to purchase property, but so the investor directly who is actually hammering the nails and doing the work may be making a 20, 30, 40% return. However, if you have some of money where you can invest in, you can invest it. It's still a better return than leaving the money in the bank earning way less than 1% interest rate. If you can invest it and maybe makes 5%, it's still better than 1%.
Mhm.
Or invest it into what else? I mean, it's I'm not very well versed in it, but there's a lot of people who are well versed in cryptocurrency and being able to double the money in no time. But again, not knowing, you really have to, of course, do your homework to know what you're investing into and not just blindly
Right.
invest. Okay. And that's what I
Right.
think, unfortunately, a lot of people do is blindly go into because they see, oh, well, my friend did it or such and such person did it. So if they got success and I know the type of person that they are, they wouldn't have invested in, they didn't know or they didn't see the results. Well, okay, results are always going to be there. It's how it has to be something that you understand how it works. If you don't understand how it works, then you can't get into it, guys. If you,
Right.
then you're being taken advantage of, okay? Because I
Mhm.
mean, there was incidences where people invested money and they followed the advice of their friends, and this was prior to the market crash in Chicago, and I'm sure it happened anywhere nationwide. But people had invested money with their friends and invested money or used their credit, and then their friends walked off or invested
Mhm.
in property that was dumps. And then what happened? Where did it leave them? Penniless, bankrupt, broke, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And that's because you chose to trust fully
Mhm.
in the process without doing any homework, and you've got to do your homework.
Yeah, I one of my goals, I'm glad that you said that earlier. One of my goals I was talking is when I first started talking about after moving to Chicago, one of my long-term goals, of course I want to start out doing the flipping, but one of my long-term goals is to be an investor.
Hmm.
And invest, have money after to flip properties, have money to invest in other, you know, like you said, in other opportunities, and then just, you have to do anything. You just get back a 5, 6, 7% return on your investment. So I think that's some great advice that you've offered to her. Mary, reach out. You can reach out to Wendy. You can inbox her. She's more than willing to provide you with any additional assistance. She's
Or you
also
connect with somebody in Tallahassee.
they moved to yeah they moved to Tallahassee from, I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, Mary, but you guys moved from Alabama, or somewhere like that. So her husband is military, so they probably have connections all over the place. So Tallahassee is just where they are. So she actually can look into investment properties in other areas if she wants to. But that's a
Sure.
start for you. Another question that came in: can you turn a rental apartment into an Airbnb?
That's a tricky one because technically you don't own it, because you're looking at an apartment that you're renting. And so then you are trying to, if you will, lease, quote unquote, your space that you technically don't own. It's a little easier if you do it in your own property. There are definitely guidelines, at least in Chicago. There are a lot of guidelines that used to be very rampant and very popular of an option to do Airbnb in condos. However, there's a lot of challenges that come behind Airbnb because people are, again, it's out of sight, out of mind. It's all about making the money. And so then you have crime, you have, unfortunately, prostitution, things like that, drugs that get involved, and it affects the safety and welfare of the other people and owners of the complex, the building, and so that it becomes a little bit more, it has become more complicated and harder for people to invest in a condo to do Airbnb. Now, I think there are still buildings that allow Airbnb. Because the nature of the condo association, they're a little bit more lenient and not really worried about those issues. However, when you have buildings that are primarily owner occupied, they will block that till there's no tomorrow. Like I have a client that owns a unit in Bronzeville and they are military and they've moved out of state and they would have loved to have been able to do Airbnb. And because Airbnb, you can make some good money. I've had a
Right.
couple of clients who rented their homes. I mean, one young lady closed and she has a basement. There's no kitchen in it, but she created a little small little mini kitchen and it has a bathroom, a bedroom, a little living area. So the whole basement became a living space that she did Airbnb in every weekend. And the home is not, it wasn't in anywhere would you expect that you would expect a lot of traffic, but it was in Washington Park, excuse me, Washington Heights,
Mm-hmm.
right in your neighborhood, actually, Makeba. And she rented her basement every weekend, and she made about $1,700. She paid her mortgage and her car note with Airbnb.
Wow. Wow.
So there is opportunity, yes, in Airbnb, but it has to be more in your own space. Now, of course, there's that worry or issue about, my goodness, if, especially what if you're a single woman and you're trying to rent, and so now who am I renting to? I mean, that's a very daunting and scary thing. But if you do your due diligence, again, it's all about being always in the know and understanding what you're doing and who, if you're doing the Airbnb route, who you are trying to get in the property, who are you trying to rent to? And if you can do a little bit more due diligence, then at least you're protecting your safety. But I think that's to answer Sabrina's question. You would have to definitely get involved if you are renting an apartment building or even a condo. You would probably need to get the approval of your landlord. If your landlord found out, you could you could get
Yeah.
in some serious trouble. So
Yeah.
definitely look into that. And don't ever try to do anything under the radar, and
Right.
especially if it's somebody else's property. That's why I say if you can do it in your own home, you buy a home and you rent it out, one room, two rooms. I mean, there are people who take a house. I mean, I think I saw one on the market where this house literally they said had 32 beds in the house. It was treated
Oh,
like a
wow.
serious one. It wasn't even an Airbnb. I think it was more like an SRO. How did you fit
Wow.
32 beds in
32
one house?
beds. Shoot. That's a little
So
a little touchy. Well, thank you so much for that.
you're
You
welcome.
guys, I appreciate you all. We are 1 minute away from 9 o'clock, and you guys know I like to keep on a tight schedule and make sure that I'm mindful of everyone's time. I want to thank you all for joining tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We had influx
Thank
of
you for
people
the
come in,
question.
but I think I don't think we have any more questions. I think we're good. But if you all do have questions, and by the way, Sabrina, if you can do me a favor and do a screenshot of what you see right now on the show, because I like to have a screenshot and give shouts out of the group on the regular Facebook to let people know what they're missing when they're not in this group, because we have some bomb conversations in here. So Sabrina, please do a screenshot of this screen and send it to me. Um, but thank you all so much for this. Wendy, baby, thank you. I appreciate
Thank you,
you
Makeba.
jumping in here with us, letting us know your expertise level, what you've spoken to the ladies. We have at times 500, 600 people who come back and look at our lives in here. So hopefully a lot of people will learn from what you said, and we can have women who are building financial futures that they can be proud of as they progress forward. So you guys, we're going to go ahead and end it tonight. You guys know what I do. I always like to end with prayer to bless you all for the rest of the remainder of the week. Whatever you have going on, may God cover you and strengthen you. So God, we thank you right now for this opportunity. We thank you for bringing us together. We thank you, Lord God, for this platform that you have given us. I thank you for what you have tasked me with empowering these women who I know, some who I don't know personally, and from a distance and from afar, but we're all family. And I thank you for each and every one of them. I pray for them all right now that you would give them the wisdom, the knowledge, the discernment to make the right choices as it relates to their finances. Bless their moves, bless their families. Lord God, bless them with exponential financial favor. And then when you do that, God, give them everything that they need to make the right choices, investments, and everything else that they need to do. We want to be women of word. We want to be women who walk into our purpose and not have to worry about being hindered by money, by a lack of money or anything like that. So I thank you for what you are providing for us. Be with each one of us this week as we do what we need to do. I pray that you would cover us, and I pray that everyone will have a wonderful Easter, and we will remember that this season is about you and your son and everything that he did for us to have eternal life. So thank you so much for this. In Jesus' name, I pray, amen. Thank you all, ladies, for joining us. And you guys have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful, blessed weekend. Love you guys. Peace.
Thank you, everybody. Have a
Bye-bye.
great day. Happy Easter. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Makeba.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.